Today, we are going to do something different and very special in this video. We are going to walk together through the streets of Rome in Italy. And while we walk, you are going to learn survival English in a natural and practical way. Have you ever imagined walking through the historic streets of Rome and being able to order a perfect cappuccino? Ask where the Colosseum is and understand the directions, all in clear English without getting stuck. Yes, I know that in Rome people speak Italian, but English is the universal language for tourists. And if you master the essential phrases that I am going to teach today while we explore the city, you will manage perfectly in cafes, hotels, tourist attractions, and even asking for directions to that hidden gelateria that only locals know. Hi, it is a pleasure to have you here. I am Charlie. Stay until the end, because during our walk, you are going to learn how to order food and drinks in Roman cafes, ask for directions to the main tourist attractions, use the restroom without embarrassment, and compare options like better pizza or better route. And more. I am going to present 5 words considered difficult that you are going to use almost every day in Rome, plus a special extra tip about how to behave in Italian restaurants when you speak English with them. This video was made especially for you who understand a little English but get stuck when speaking. Here we go slowly, with pauses, repetitions, and practical examples. You are not only going to listen, you are going to practice with me out loud at your own pace. And more than the explanations about English that I give during the video, the narration itself, slow and clear, is already a great way of learning to speed up your fluency. So keep listening and paying close attention. Also, watch the video again to remember the content better. Ready? So let's start our journey through the streets of Rome. We are here on Via dei Fori Imperiali, one of the most famous avenues in Rome. Look how amazing! From here, I can already see the Colosseum in the background. The morning is beautiful, the sky is blue, and there are already many tourists walking around here. Notice how the streets are wide in this part of the city, very different from the narrow streets that we are going to find later in the historic center. While we walk, I want you to pay attention to something important. Many travelers get confused when building sentences in English because they do not understand the basic order of words. In Portuguese, we have more flexibility, but in English, there is a structure that works in almost all situations. It is simple: subject, then the verb, then the object, and finally the place or the time. For example, if I want to say that I am walking in Rome now, I say, I am walking in Rome now. Look, I is the subject, am walking is the verb, in Rome is the place, and now is the time. Repeat with me slowly. I am walking in Rome now. One more time. I am walking in Rome now. Very good. Look how interesting I am seeing many people wearing light clothes, shorts, t-shirts, caps. It makes sense because even though it is morning, the sun in Rome is strong. And notice how many tourists carry small bottles of water. This is essential here because you are going to walk a lot. Now let's practice a sentence about what I am seeing. The tourists are wearing light clothes. The tourists are wearing light clothes. Repeat with me. The tourists are wearing light clothes. Excellent. I am getting closer to the Colosseum, and the view is getting more and more impressive. You know, Many travelers want to describe what they are seeing, but they get stuck. I am going to teach you a simple way. When you want to say that something is beautiful, impressive, or amazing, you can use the word stunning. This is one of the 5 difficult words that I promise to teach. Stunning means amazing, impressive. So I can say the Colosseum is stunning. The Colosseum is stunning. Repeat with me very slowly. The Colosseum is stunning. Perfect. Now look, there is a sign here showing Via di San Giovanni in Laterano. The signs in Rome usually have the names in Italian, but when you need to ask for directions, you can simply show the name on the phone map and ask, "Excuse me, how do I get to this place? Excuse me, how do I get to this place?" Many travelers get confused and say, "How I go to this place?" But this is wrong. In questions, you need to use the auxiliary do or does, or, in the case of how, you put the auxiliary verb after how. So the correct form is, how do I get to this place? Repeat with me. How do I get to this place? Great. I am going to continue walking, and look, I am starting to smell a delicious smell of coffee. This reminds me that I need to have my morning cappuccino. I am going to look for a cafe around here. Ah, I found a very charming one right there on the corner. Let's go in together. Going into the cafe now. What a cozy place. There are some free tables, and the counter is full of Italian sweets, the famous cornettos, that are similar to croissants. The barista is making coffees, and the sound of the espresso machine is music to the ears of people who love coffee. I am going to look for a table. In English, I say, I am looking for a table. I am looking for a table. Repeat, I am looking for a table. Very good. I found a table near the window. Perfect. Now I am going to call the waiter to make my order. And here is an important tip. Many travelers say I want a cappuccino when they want to order something. Technically, it is not wrong, but it sounds very direct, almost rude. It is like you are giving an order. The most polite and natural way is to say, I would like a cappuccino. I would like a cappuccino. See the difference? I want a cappuccino sounds like I want a cappuccino, period. But I would like a cappuccino sounds more gentle. I would like a cappuccino, please. Native speakers use I would like much more in formal situations or with people they do not know. So I am going to order like this. Good morning. I would like a cappuccino and a cornetto, please. Good morning. I would like a cappuccino and a cornetto, please. Repeat with me slowly. I would like a cappuccino and a cornetto, please. Excellent, the waiter asked. Would you like sugar? Would you like sugar? I am going to answer, no, thank you. I would not like sugar in my coffee. No, thank you. I would not like sugar in my coffee. Repeat, I would not like sugar in my coffee. Perfect. While I wait for my order, let me tell you a cultural curiosity. In Rome, and in Italy in general, Italians drink cappuccino only in the morning, usually until 11 o'clock. After lunch, they drink only espresso, that short and strong coffee. If you order cappuccino in the afternoon, nobody is going to stop you, but you may get some curious looks. As a tourist, you can order what you want, but it is nice to know this custom. My cappuccino arrived, and it is perfect. The foam is creamy, and the cornetto is warm. I am going to enjoy this moment. While I drink my coffee, I am going to teach you some more useful variations to order things. If you want an espresso, you can say, "Could I have an espresso, please? Could I have an espresso, please?" Repeat, "Could I have an espresso, please?" Another option is, "Can I get a bottle of water, please? Can I get a bottle of water, please?" Repeat, "Can I get a bottle of water, please?" Very good. And if you want water without gas, say still water. If you want water with gas, say sparkling water. This is important because in Europe it is very common to serve water with gas, so always say what you prefer. I finished my coffee, and now I am going to pay. I am going to say, "Can I have the bill, please? Can I have the bill, please?" Repeat, "Can I have the bill, please?" Great. Leaving the cafe now and going back to the street, the sun is even stronger and the movement increased. There are more tourists, more souvenir sellers on the sidewalks, and that noise typical of a tourist city. Look how interesting I am. Passing by a building with amazing architecture, the windows have those classic details. The walls are in shades of yellow and terracotta, very typical of Rome. The architecture here is a mix of different historical periods. You see old buildings, some more than 2,000 years old, next to more modern buildings. Continuing my walk, I notice how the streets here are clean. Even with so many tourists, the city is well taken care of. If I want to comment on this in English, I can say, "The streets are clean." The streets are clean. But let's practice the complete structure. The streets in Rome are very clean. The streets in Rome are very clean. Repeat, "The streets in Rome are very clean." Excellent. Now imagine that you want to ask someone on the street where a gift shop or souvenir shop is. Many travelers get confused and say, "Where is shop of gifts?" But this is not correct. The correct form is, "Where is the gift shop?" Or, "Where is the souvenir shop?" Notice that in English we do not use of in this case, and the order of words is different. Gift shop, not shop of gifts. So if you want to ask, say, "Excuse me, where is the nearest souvenir shop?" Excuse me, where is the nearest souvenir shop? Repeat with me. Excuse me, where is the nearest souvenir shop? Very good. And here is an important vocabulary. Nearest means closest. You are going to use this word a lot in travels. The nearest restroom, the nearest restroom. The nearest restaurant, the nearest restaurant. The nearest metro station, the nearest metro station. Speaking of restroom, this is a topic that causes a lot of confusion. Many travelers say, "Where's the toilet?" Technically, it is not wrong, but toilet is a very direct word and can sound a little rude or childish. The most polite way is to use restroom or bathroom. So the correct form is, "Excuse me, where's the nearest restroom?" Excuse me, where is the nearest restroom? Repeat with me very slowly. Excuse me, where is the nearest restroom? One more time. Excuse me, where is the nearest restroom? Perfect. A trick to remember. Restroom comes from rest, which means rest. So think restroom is the place to rest and use the bathroom. Easy to remember, right? I am arriving now in a busier area full of shops, restaurants, and gelaterias. There is a very famous gelateria here that always has a line. Look how many people waiting to buy gelato. This reminds me of the third difficult word, crowded. Crowded means full of people. So I can say, this gelateria is very crowded. This gelateria is very crowded. Repeat, this gelateria is very crowded. Great. And since we are talking about gelato, let me teach you to compare options. Imagine that you are in doubt between two flavors or between two gelaterias. You can use better than, which means better than. For example, this gelato is better than that one. This gelato is better than that one. Repeat, this gelato is better than that one. Excellent. You can also use worse than, which means worse than, or cheaper than, or more expensive than, more expensive than. Let's practice. This restaurant is more expensive than the other. This restaurant is more expensive than the other. Repeat. This restaurant is more expensive than the other. Very good. And if you want to ask which one is better, say, which one is better? Which one is better? Repeat, which one is better? To continue our walk, I am entering now a region with narrower streets. This is the fourth difficult word, narrow. Narrow means narrow. The streets here are narrow, but full of charm. The streets here are narrow but charming. The streets here are narrow but charming. Repeat. The streets here are narrow but charming. Great. These narrow streets are typical of the historic center of Rome. You are going to find small shops, hidden cafés, colorful facades, and that atmosphere of Italian movies. It is really magical to walk around here. Look, there is a person coming in my direction, and I am going to take the chance to ask for directions. I am going to ask how to get to Piazza Navona, one of the most famous squares in Rome. I am going to say, "Excuse me, how do I get to Piazza Navona?" "Excuse me, how do I get to Piazza Navona?" The person answered, "Go straight for 2 blocks, then turn left. It's on your right." Go straight for 2 blocks, then turn left. It's on your right. Let's practice these directions because you are going to use them a lot. Go straight, turn left, turn right, on your right, on your left. Repeat with me. Go straight, turn left, turn right. It's on your right. Excellent. Other useful expressions for directions. At the corner means at the corner. Cross the street means cross the street. Walk for 5 minutes means walk for 5 minutes. Let's practice. Turn right at the corner. Turn right at the corner. Repeat. Turn right at the corner. Now I am going to ask a very useful question. Is it far from here? Is it far from here? Repeat. Is it far from here? And another. Can I walk there? Can I walk there? Repeat. Can I walk there? Perfect. I am following the directions that I received, and really, after 2 blocks I turned left. The streets here are even more charming, with small flower pots in the windows, clothes hanging between the buildings, and that residential neighborhood feeling. You know, one thing that I love in Rome is how the city mixes the old and the modern in such a natural way. You are walking on a modern street, and suddenly you find Roman ruins from 2,000 years ago right in the middle of the way. It is surreal and beautiful at the same time. Arriving now at a small square, and there is a fountain in the center. People are sitting around, some eating gelato, others just resting. I am going to use the fifth and last difficult word, authentic. Authentic means authentic, genuine, real. When you want to find a real Italian restaurant, not those tourist restaurants with high prices and average food, you look for an authentic Italian restaurant. An authentic Italian restaurant. Repeat. I want to find an authentic Italian restaurant. I want to find an authentic Italian restaurant. Perfect. Italians value authenticity a lot, especially when it comes to food. They are proud of their cuisine, and they are happy when tourists look for genuine experiences instead of tourist traps. Speaking of Italians, let me give you that special extra tip that I promised. When you speak English in Italian restaurants, always be polite and patient. Many Italians, especially older ones, prefer to speak Italian, but they respect tourists who try to communicate in English with kindness and politeness. Always use please and thank you. A smile and a respectful attitude open many doors here. And another tip, if you learn some basic words in Italian like buongiorno for good morning, grazie for thank you, and per favor for please, Italians are going to love it. They appreciate when tourists make the effort to speak some words in their language, even if after that you continue in English. I am going back now toward the Colosseum to finish our walk where we started. The sun is higher, it is hotter, and the city is vibrant and full of life. Looking around, I can see tourists from all places in the world, all here to admire the history and beauty of Rome. Let's recap quickly what you learned today while we walked together through the streets of Rome. You learned how to order in the café politely using I would like instead of I want. You learned to ask for the restroom without embarrassment, using restroom or bathroom instead of toilet. You learn to ask for and understand directions using go straight, turn left, turn right, on your right, on your left. You learn to compare options using better than, worse than, more expensive than, cheaper than. And you learned 5 difficult but very useful words. Stunning, which means amazing. Ancient, which means old. Crowded, which means full of people. Narrow, which means narrow. And authentic, which means authentic. The goal of this video is for you to have total understanding of what was said and explained. That is why I recommend that you watch at least 2 times. The second time, pause and repeat all the sentences out loud. This is the key to unlock and gain confidence. The more you practice, the more natural it is going to become. If this video helped you, leave your like down here. Subscribe to the channel for more. Slow English lessons where we explore amazing cities while we learn English in a natural and practical way. And comment below which travel situation you most want to learn. Airport, hotel, taxi, metro. Your comment can become the next video. Thank you for walking with me through the streets of Rome today. Remember, with slow English, you learn for real, at your own pace, with confidence. I wait for you in the next video. Until then, keep practicing and enjoy your journey.